So, and you must understand that some of the people who are buying the clothes and stuff for their family, their relatives abroad. Some of the Chinese people, the relatives in China that are buying clothes for their relatives abroad, are also in the villages and small towns. So they will also buy things according to their standard and the kind of things they use. So that gives the impression that you see a Chinese person wearing the same clothes for months, every day, because this is what they wear to work. Then after work, they have nothing much else to do. So that gives the impression, but that is wrong. When you come to China, you're gonna see a whole lot of fashionable people. Damn, fashion, like, don't forget, China makes the fashion. China makes the clothing. They make everything. Even though sometimes they get the styles, the designs, ideas from abroad, but they make it here. You When you live in China, you get to see people dress, especially women, dress like some of the latest fashion, you know. And yeah, you see a lot of Chinese women abroad. They they dress very simple, and maybe more modest, I would say. But when you come to China, you're gonna see, especially the younger generation, it's certainly a misconception about this, and also that Chinese people don't look good. Oh man, yeah, a lot of them you see abroad. Yeah, a lot of those in the restaurants, doing construction, doing running supermarkets, not dressing good, not looking good, not smelling good, not doing. When you come to China, you see good-looking people. I mean, both men and women. You see latest fashion. You see stylish people. So I always had this idea in my mind for many years that most of the people who live abroad from many countries are not the best looking people from that country. I got this impression many years ago because of my travels around the world. I got this impression because I meet people and meet a bunch of people from a certain country or a certain place. They look at kind of how, and then when I get to that place, I mean, like, yeah, that feeling. But yeah, that's how I got it. I'm probably one of the few people that look good that doesn't live in his country. Yeah. So I think this is a universal thing, that most people who live abroad do not completely represent the beauty or the beautiful people of that country or whatever country they're coming from. So China is no exception. China is no exception. Most of the If you come to China, you get to come to see some really, really, really good-looking guys, good-looking women, good, cute babies. It just doesn't stop there. You also meet people driving the best cars. I bet if I tell some of you now that in my neighborhood alone, in my neighborhood alone, they have people, they have about six people. In my neighborhood alone, about six people with Lamborghinis. In your neighborhood, wherever country you are, how many Chinese people driving Lamborghinis? So this is my point. The misconception about Chinese people not being fashionable, Chinese people not dressing well, Chinese people not looking good, Chinese people not buying the best clothes, that's outside of China. If you live here in China, you'll get to know that that is a misconception. It certainly is. So, if you want to know anything about any country, do not judge the country by the country's people that you meet abroad. If you want to know, if you want to say something about any particular country, you want to have a strong opinion about any particular country, do not base your opinion on the behavior of one or two people from that country. Even if you are living in that country, do not base your strong opinion on the two people or three people or five people that you met from that country or what they say. Talk to more people. Different people, different characters, different personalities, different opinions, different behavior. The fact that one Chinese person did something wrong doesn't mean that all Chinese people are going to do it the same way. And the fact that one Chinese person did something good doesn't mean that all Chinese people are going to do it the same way. Like I said somewhere in this video, I would advise any Chinese person out there who would use the phrase, we Chinese people, if you want to use that phrase in a general sense. Use it in, because there are a lot of things that bring Chinese people together as one people, which one of them is the government, is one government, one China. That's one. If you say we Chinese people celebrate our national day on so day, yes, bring China together as one people. We Chinese people speak Mandarin, yes, it's something that brings our Chinese people together. We Chinese people celebrate this, celebrate that. There are a lot of national traditions that Chinese people celebrate together, all Chinese people, even the ones who live abroad. They mark that day, they celebrate it. This brings Chinese people together. So many things that you can use this phrase for, but do not use this phrase when you do something negative or when you do something bad. Hey, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you're working for. And this, it gives a bad impression. For example, if a person in a public sector, somebody who works in the public sector, do something wrong, make a mistake, or deliberately do something wrong. So the best thing to do is say you're sorry, or try to correct your mistake, but don't say we Chinese people do like this, and then you try to rally some other people, friends or colleagues or family around you to support what you did wrong and say this is we Chinese people, or we do it like this in China. And then especially if you work for the public or you work somehow under the government, that doesn't create a very good impression. Especially the haters of China abroad want to use that, capitalize on that. Because if one police officer in another country, hurt someone, do something bad, then it's that police officer, he did something wrong. But if one police officer do something wrong in China, then for the haters of China abroad, it's the whole China, it's the whole Chinese police. In fact, it's not even police anymore, it's the Chinese government. It's wrong. It is wrong. So the best thing to do, we are all humans, we all make mistakes, we all sometimes go wrong in the things we do. If you find yourself making a mistake somewhere, accept that you did it. You did it. So whatever consequences you face, you, not Chinese people, you as a person, as a taxi driver, as a police officer, as a whatever, as a trader, as whoever, whatever it is that you do, you make a mistake, take the responsibility. Do not say it's we Chinese people, or you try to gather some other people to support you so that it would look like what you did is right. You putting it on Chinese people. This doesn't just not just Chinese people and foreigners, or Chinese people and no, it's even here in China. Somebody from another province. Let me take Anhui province. Just came to my mind. Anhui province. If somebody in Anhui province come to Guangdong province and then do something, make a mistake, and then you try to tell them, correct them, and tell them You shouldn't do this. See, we are we people. No, shut the hell up. Shut up. That's your mistake. You messed up. You did something wrong. You made a mistake. Apologize and keep it going. If you want to argue that you're right or argue I want to fight, fight on your own. Do not bring the whole of Anhui people in it. Do not carry a whole province of people, of very good people, and mix them up in your stupidity. If you do something wrong, don't say it's because we Hong Kong people, or we Taiwan people, or we Heilongjiang people, or we Beijing people. Which other province should I mention? So many provinces, all all the provinces gone from my mind. Or we people from Hainan, or we people from whatever province. Don't say because I'm Guangzhou people. That's why I did like this. We Guangzhou people, we do this. You bring in the whole Guangzhou. You're trying to paint a picture, a very bad image of the whole Guangzhou people to this person you're dealing with, just because you don't want to accept that you're wrong. Don't do it. And you a foreigner, and you in China, and you dealing with someone and you make a mistake, don't say we foreigners. In fact, when people in China tell me, you foreigners like to eat this, you foreigners, I always say, anybody who know me would know this. I always say, don't say you foreigners. All foreigners are not the same. I am me. This reminds me of the movie Rush Hour. I am me, he is you. So I say, I'm me. Don't put me together with all the other foreigners because everybody have their own character. Everybody have their own behavior. Everybody have their own way of thinking, behaving, acting. Do not tell me you foreigners like to eat hamburger. You foreigners like to eat this. You foreigners like to shower. You foreigners like perfume. You foreigners, I will always politely tell you, no, don't say like this. Not you foreigners. Me, I don't like this. Or I like this. Don't say you foreigners. All foreigners are not the same. All foreigners don't come from the same country. They don't come from the same town. They don't come from the same city. They don't come from the same parents. Even if we all come from the same parents, we are different individuals with different characters. So when I do something right and you try to tell me, wow, you foreigners are so nice. No, I'm nice. Not you foreigners. Don't say you foreigners are nice. I'm nice. If I do something bad, and then, yeah, you foreigners are like, no, not you foreigners. Me, this is what I do. I don't like this. I don't do it. So don't say you foreigners. Do not categorize me with all foreigners. Same way. If you do anything, do not say, we, this person, these people, that people, we do like this or that. If you're wrong, say you're wrong. If you don't want to accept you're wrong, take it upon yourself, your own responsibility. Do not say, we Chinese people, we like to smoke in the elevator. No, that's not a very good example. No, you get my point, right? Do not say we Chinese people, yeah, we like to invite all our foreign friends to eat. We like to entertain all our foreign friends. No, a lot of Chinese people are very hospitable, but not all. A whole lot are very hospitable, very nice people. But there are one or two who are not nice. So don't say we Chinese people because those one or two are still included in Chinese people. You know my point? So for you all out there, my foreign friends, as they say in China, my foreign friends, if you are in China or outside of China, and of course we are talking about China because this is what my channel is all about China, Chinese people, things that are happening in China. Yeah, China has to be talked about because some people might be saying, why y'all talking about China? I'm talking about China because China has to be talked about because China has been talked about for many years, but not true in a negative way. So I am here to bring the truth about China from my own perspective as a person right here on the ground in China. You know, and even if I leave China in the future, the things that I know about China, the things that I learned in my years of being in China, I will still have extensive knowledge of what China is all about for the next 50 years. So we got to talk about China because they have been talking about China for many years. And personally, I have been fascinated about this country, the culture, the tradition, since I was a young youth. So, and for me, it was like a big thing for me the first day I stepped foot in this country. So let's face the facts. Let's deal with the facts. Let's bring out the facts because there have been a whole lot of misconceptions out there for many years, still continue about China. Even a lot of Chinese descendants, a lot of Chinese, overseas Chinese, children of Chinese parents, grandparents, great grandparents, great great grandparents, children of Chinese ancestry who has never stepped foot in China before. And I believe a whole lot of them wish one day they can come to China. But they have been, their education system in whatever country they are and what they tell them and teach them about China has made a lot of them not having a very, they don't even think that it's possible for them to live in China, you know. So we got to bring out the facts because one of the best things that can happen to any society, well, one of the worst things that can happen to any society is that a whole generation of children born from a particular ancestry, from a particular society, but in another country, in another society, children who are from a different part of the world, different society, and then we're born, their parents migrated to some other place, and then their parents, great grandparents migrated from one place to another, and then they have their children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and then they all were raised there, and then completely, as the generation is passed down, they completely lost the culture, the history, and the tradition of their place. Even though they look like people from that place, but they don't know much about where they come from. It's very sad. A good example of that would be a whole lot of Africans in the Caribbean and North America and South America. Many of them were born, lived, and died dreaming of one day visiting the African continent, dreaming that one day the story that their father, their grandfather, great grandfather told their father that they came from so village in Africa and this and that and that and that, that one day they would want to visit that place. And they didn't have the opportunity and they passed away. So I know this and I feel this so much because I have lived in these societies and I know how bad it can be for a person not knowing exactly who they are, where they come from, their history, and the things about them. It's not good. It's a very bad feeling. And the Chinese society has existed for thousands of years, one of the oldest civilizations. But there are a whole lot of Chinese children in other places around the globe who don't know much about China. The only thing they know about China is what they show them on TV, wherever they are. And sometimes you don't even need to know the complete history about the place. Sometimes what is needed to bring the minds, the hearts, and the souls of these children back to their ancestral lands is showing them the current things, the true current things that is happening in their ancestral place. Because some new generation of children has lost, you cannot, from this history they were given, from the story they were told. The perfect example is the Africans in the Caribbean and South America and North America. The things they were told about Africa, the African continent, and the things that, nothing encouraging, nothing would encourage them, nothing that would give them positive vibe about visiting Africa, you know. So it would be the same, you know, with people from Asia, especially here in China. If the generation of Chinese people abroad, the ones that have completely lost touch of the reality, the real China, all they hear is old history about when China was fighting and this and that, but the modern history, nothing shows them the positive things now. The new generation, with all the things that's happening, you know, they can't link themselves with whatever story they heard in the past. They can't link themselves. They think, no, don't want to associate myself with that China. But you show them the new things. You show them what's really the truth about what's really happening now. Let them connect it with what their own generation right now, and then bring their hearts and souls back, you know. So I believe it's one of the reasons why that I do this. It's my passion to show the truth about what is happening wherever I am. And right now I'm in China, and this is what I'm going to show. With this, guys, I got to end this video. And thank you for hanging out with me. And I wish you all the best. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and follow me. Ask whatever question you want to ask, whatever you want to find out, whatever you want to know. Feel free to ask me in the comment section. And let's build a better world together. And as much as possible to avoid all the conflicts that are being created and the ones that are being planned in the future. Let's make the world a more peaceful place and a global village where everybody can live in peace and harmony, respect each other and each other's ways of life. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, you are destined to prosper. Peace.